Hey guys, I am so happy to see all of you and to talk about last night's episode because let me be real with you. I spent so much time last night watching theory videos and talking to some of you on Twitter because I'm freaking out about next week's finale. And I really want to talk to you guys about it because I'm trying to figure out who Charles is. Like, we are down to the wire here. I mean, we just have a few days to like figure out who he is, and I'm dying to know what you guys think. I have a couple of theories based on what I saw last night, what I think they're doing. I don't know if I'm right, but I'll throw them out there here in just a little bit. But first, I want to say hey to everyone who is here. There are so many of you here, and I love that, because I love you guys. And what did you think about last night's episode? Let's just start with that. I have heard mixed reactions. Some of you tweeted me that you hated it, and some of you tweeted me that you loved it. I thought it was good. I thought the moms were so funny. I liked the ending. I know we didn't, let's be real here, we didn't find anything out. And I think that's okay because it's the episode before this finale. Now, if we find nothing out next week, I am not going to be happy, okay? If they've been playing games with us, if the reveal is fake, if we don't find out who Charles is, I'll be very mad. If we find out Charles is someone we don't know, or, a lot of people have been throwing out, like, maybe it's going to be someone's twin, like Caleb's twin, Ezra's twin, something like that. I'm not going to be cool with that either because the way that Marlene's been tweeting it, she's been tweeting it like, we know this person. This person is like pretty much a main character. Thank you so much. I actually curled my hair, which I usually straighten it, and I was like, I think I'll curl it. It takes a little more time, but and tell me your first name again, Lip Gloss Kisses, because I want to shout you out because I subscribed to your channel. She made a video about how her favorites for July, and she mentioned me, and that was like so cool. Thank you. I mean, I can't believe someone's mentioning me in one of their videos. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So hey, Sarah. Hey, Jen. Hey, Simona. Hey, Diana. Hey, Andre. Hey, Deja. Hey, Jackie. She-Hulk. Ashlia. Oh my gosh. So glad to see so many of you here. If you haven't said hi yet, please do. Nastasia, what's up? So just a note, because I always get this like tweeted to me during the show, and I can't really check Twitter while I'm on here. If you're watching this and you can't figure out why you can't comment, if you are on a phone or a tablet, you cannot comment, okay? And that's just because YouTube is weird with Google Hangouts. So that's why. If you want to switch over to a laptop or whatever, or like a regular computer, desktop, then you can do that. If not, I'm sorry, you can just watch along, but I'm not able to like answer stuff from Twitter just because I will totally be lost with this chat. Sarah said the moms were so funny. I totally agree. What's up, Alec, Emma, Glanisha, Neely? So many of you are here. Nate, if I miss saying hey to you, just say hey again because I don't want to miss anybody. But yeah, I mean, I love the moms, especially Spencer's mom. She was freaking hilarious. I honestly thought she was going to find out some super important information because she was just like dead set on finding stuff out. And then I don't understand where Allie's dad was. And some of you tweeted me that you think he has been killed by Charles or by someone related to Charles. What do you guys think about that? Hey, Raphael. Hey, Alice. Hey, at the Charles Louise. Tori or Tony. What's up? There's so many of you here. That is so cool, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So Nastasia says the moms made the episode for me for sure. So the moms made the episode for her, and the whole prom seemed pretty slow to me. The prom was weird. Now, I think I tweeted this. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm Kelly_TV. If you're on Twitter, please follow me. I live tweet all the episodes. Plus, I've been doing Periscope broadcasts. Periscope is like Twitter's live. You can do a live show on Periscope, and a lot of you were there for it last night. I'm going to do a lot more of that probably this week, next week. So try to follow me and join me on there. But yeah, the prom I thought was so weird. I mean, it was so dark. And like, I know, proms usually have themes. I'm not sure what this theme was, but for me, I would think that was so weird. Like, why is the prom so creepy? Why are there people in capes and super weird masks? It was like a Halloween kind of thing. Really strange to me. Yes, Tony, it was like mother like daughter, Spencer's mom being really investigative, really inquisitive, just like her, but we don't always see that side of her. And she was just so sassy, and I just really loved it. Jackie also loved the mom reunion. Nate cannot wait for the finale. I am so pumped up for this finale. Not that I wasn't before, but I'm just overly excited about it now because unless they trick us, which if they trick us, I'm going to be very upset. I mean, we've waited for this moment for years, and they've tried to, say they were going to tell us who A is, and they played with us before, and they've kind of been like toying with us, and it's been exhausting, but we just have a few days, guys, until we find out who A is, and it's freaking me out. So Alex says that his mom thinks that Mrs. Hastings lured them over to the house. Not sure why, or what he thinks about that, but his mom thinks that Mrs. Hastings lured them there on purpose. Okay, well, I mean, if she was involved, maybe they all needed to be there so something could happen to Mr. D. I don't know. I mean, or maybe they all needed to be there so the girls could escape and get to prom, and so Allie could escape and get to prom. I don't know. Simona saying prom was weird as hell. Yeah, so weird. Right, they weren't allowed to go to the prom, but all of them, including Sarah Harvey, and I think whatever you're like, autocorrect, just change it to Shower Harvey. Maybe you're calling her Shower Harvey, though. I think you are because she always showers. That's really funny. Yeah, they could just come into the party, and really the only person who had an issue with that was the woman who was talking to Aria because Clark was trying to take her picture. She was like, she's not supposed to be here, basically, and was telling her to like move on. Shadow is Lily, actually, here for the first time. Hey, Lily. Nimsy Love, hey, thanks for joining us. Janice is here. What's up, Janice? Pretty sure the twin theory will come into play because I honestly can't think of anyone that could be Charles at this point. That's what Janice is saying. Okay, what do you guys think about that? I honestly am not cool with that. If they show us, like, so say, for example, they show us Jason, the actor, because we know in real life he doesn't have a twin. So they unmask Charles and it's Jason, but he's like, no, I'm Charles. I'm going to be like, what? I really hope that they don't do that. I think it was Simona on here, or could be, I can't remember. If it's not you, let me know. That just tweeted me a little while ago, and I tweeted it out. It was an awesome interview that the network, did with Janelle Parrish, who is Mona. And she said that, this is what everybody has said, like all the cast members have said, but she said that it's going to be super shocking, okay? Now, they may just be saying this because they want us to watch. They want us to, get the ratings up. They want to play this up. I will be very let down if everyone's pretty much lied to us. If it ends up being someone we don't really know, they say we know him, but it could be someone who's had, like, the tiniest part. Or if it's, like, Ezra, but he's like, no, my name's Charles. Like, I'm Ezra's brother. Or something super creepy about, weird, not creepy, but weird. That's annoying to me, okay? Janice wants it to be someone that we've never thought of. I totally agree. And that's why I was thinking a lot last night. And on Periscope, I started coming up with some stuff. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Okay, well, Glanisha's bringing out a point that we'll go ahead and talk about it now. Simona, thank you. Thank you for that tweet. It was awesome. I love that link. Glanisha's saying we can cancel out Caleb, Toby, and Ezra for being Charles. Okay, I was saying that last night on Periscope. I was like, okay, they've made it easy for us because we know whoever was chasing around Allie, this was happening when all the boyfriends were with the girlfriends at prom. So I'm thinking, wow, we could figure this out really easily because there's only so many guys it could be, right? But then another point I want to make here, you looked at Allie's face when she saw Charles. She was very shocked, but I can tell you right now, she knew this person. It was not someone she never seen before. So I was like, it can't be Ren because she doesn't know Ren. But then I started thinking, what if that wasn't Charles? What if that was a girl? We know that Charles has helpers. Somebody was locking the moms in the basement. We know he doesn't work alone. We know there's a redcoat. So maybe redcoat is the one who Allie saw, and she saw this person, and perhaps the person who we think is dead, like Maya, or maybe it's Mona, or maybe it is someone who's redcoat, Cece, she knew that person, okay? So what if Charles sent one of his people to be, just to protect himself, just in case something happened? One of his people was in that cape, but it wasn't him, which frees up any boyfriend to be Charles, because one of his people is the one chasing around Allie. Now, what do you think about that? I could be completely wrong, but I just feel like it made it so easy. If that was Charles, it can't be any of the boyfriends. It can't be, Lorenzo. We never thought it was Lorenzo. I don't know why I keep saying that, but it can't be a lot of the people that we have suspected. Yes, it could be Ren, but by her face, she knew that person. Would she have been so shocked to see someone she didn't know? No, you could tell she knew them, okay? Nastasia wants to be shocked, but she would be happy if Ren is Charles. I feel like everyone thinks Ren is Charles, which is fine. I've definitely thought that before. It definitely adds up. But when I hear the characters, the actors do interviews, when I read, the tweets from Marlene months ago when people were trying to predict who Charles was, and she said hardly anybody got it right, unless she's lying, and sometimes she definitely stretches the truth, then I don't think it could be Ren. It's way too easy. And they've never tried to make it seem like it's Ren, but we all think it's Ren, and they know we all think it's Ren. What I thought was very interesting, if you, when this is over, you should go to my Twitter and watch that Mona Janelle Parrish interview. She said that they've had this planned since day one. She said they've put clues everywhere. And if you remember, if you read Keegan Allen's interview, Toby, he said the same thing. He said you could literally go back to the first episode and watch, and you will see this stuff laid out. So I'm going to throw this out here, and I know I'm missing a ton of comments, and I will get back to them, I promise. I started thinking about Caleb last night because I thought, you know what? Caleb is the perfect boyfriend. Last night I was tweeting how he was like, boyfriend goals, relationship goals. He's so good to Hannah. That whole story about him going to New York, she didn't really buy it. But then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going because I'm going to get us a place and I'm going to help you pay for your tuition. And I was like, oh no. And the whole episode, I was like, oh my gosh, he's great. And I forgot to think about that computer that was randomly in the back of his car. Why? And then I forgot to think that it doesn't really make sense that he went to New York, but his story was so romantic that I bought into it. So when I was doing Periscope, I was like, wait a minute. And Janelle said that they have been so smart about who this person is. And any writers of any show would, if they're smart and calculating, it's never the most obvious person. It's never the second, the third obvious person. It is the person you could not believe. It's the person you trusted that you thought was great. I think he's a great boyfriend. I love them together. I love Caleb. I think he's awesome. But he was adopted, guys. He ran away from his foster home, just like Charles ran away from Radley, right? I mean, we know nothing about his family, but they've been giving him money, right? His mom gave him money. Mrs. D had money. Somebody was supporting him. I don't know. I know you guys don't want it to be Caleb, okay? But some of the stuff is starting to fit for me. Alex says that Oliver Goldstick said that the best mysteries aren't the ones that make it so, oh my God, but rather that makes sense. So I don't think the who is shocking, but more the why. Okay, possibly. I could go into that too. Nastasia deep down wants Ren to be Charles, though it's way too obvious. I mean, I'm not going to be furious if Ren is Charles. I'm just going to be a little underwhelmed because I want it to be smarter than that, Shadow says before this season, a lot of people didn't even think about Ren. Liana says that Caleb is too young to be Charles. Well, okay. But really, he's already out of school, and I don't know how old he is, and he could definitely lie about his age. Just throwing that out there. Nimsy Love wants me to subscribe to your channel. I will check it out after this is over. You might want to comment on one of my videos because this thread will go away, so just comment, and I will remember, okay? Thank you. So Diana watched the clip of the first 2 minutes of next week's episode, and Hannah called A bitch after she already saw A, so I'm thinking maybe A is a girl. Okay. There is a sneak peek out there, or maybe this is the promo. I've seen a few different things about the finale. And it looks like a person in the black hood is going to jump off of a building. The girls are chasing this person. Now that messes with my Caleb theory because all of the girls the way they're reacting is not how I would react if I found out my boyfriend had been tormenting me and my friends. Okay, so I could go both ways. For me, I think all of us have invested. Hey, Aaron, what's up? Thanks for being here. All of us have invested so much time in this show. And this is the moment that the whole show has been about, pretty much. So if they throw it away, if they screw it up, I just want to have hope that it's going to be good. And I know you guys do too. And everyone wants a different, not everyone wants the same person to be A. Some of you would love for Ren to be A. Like I said, I wouldn't hate it. Some things that I would hate would be, like we've talked about, someone that was in the show, but we don't really care about them. Like if Andrew or somebody ends up being A, So Emma thinks that Charles will be someone who has been a suspect this season. I don't know. Lip gloss, kisses, and you probably told me your name and I've missed it somewhere, but I'm sorry. Says jump off Radley's roof. That's a really good guess. They could be on the top of Radley. Definitely. Tony's asking about Lucas. What I thought was very interesting was that I think Aria mentioned that Lucas and Jenna were at prom last night, but then we never actually saw them. So Lucas is back in the picture in some way, which also goes along with my theory that perhaps if Lucas ends up being Charles, and I know you're going to say he's too young, but people lie about their ages, perhaps he had someone doing his work, but he wanted to be there as well, you know? So Shadow says in the sneak peek, Charles had girl legs but a man's back. Well, I mean, we know that Ren is relatively small, so if it ends up being him, that wouldn't be such a surprise. Ashley is asking if Caleb's an emancipated minor, so he wouldn't have to go to school. Yeah, but is that right? If that's right, technically then he could not be the right age for Charles, because Charles has got to be like in his 20s, right? Ash, thank you for joining us. I did see that this was your first live chat, so thank you so much for being here. So Nastasia wouldn't be happy with any of the boyfriends if they end up being Charles. She-Hulk says Caleb would fit with the theory that Radley was also, or in the past, an orphanage. So Caleb, Andrew, and maybe Sarah would know each other. I like that. And Nerese, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're here. Something else I want to tell you about Caleb, and I'll throw that out there. And you could literally go with any character or a lot of the characters. You could track back all that happened, and you could say, you know, this person could be Charles. But do you guys remember when Caleb and Allie met for the first time? I will never forget watching it. I think this was when maybe some kind of news report was on about Mona's death. All of the liars and Allie, they were sitting in a room, like in a house on the couch. And Caleb walked in, and Allie and Caleb shared the most chilling look, okay? They both looked at each other so strangely. Now, they'd never met before, or so we believe. At first, I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if she has dated this guy in the past but doesn't want to say anything. But what if it's because she doesn't know why, but that's her brother? Because she recognized him right away. And if you haven't remembered that, please look that up, because, or if you don't remember that, look that up, because I don't know. So Emma says Charles has had lots of identities, so he could have changed his age. Yeah, some of the things I think we definitely need to think about here is to not get super caught up in someone's age, to not get super caught up in how someone looks, their hair color, even their accent, because look, Charles does not want to be discovered. So if it is someone that we know and that we've watched since season 1, he didn't want it to be obvious to people. He didn't want people to think, oh my gosh, are you related to Allie? Are you a Hastings? Or not a Hastings, are you a De Laurentiis? Okay. So this person has taken steps to change themselves, change their appearance, change the way they talk, lie about their age. So I don't think we need to get uber caught up in like someone not being old enough, or the fact someone's still in school or anything like that. I think we need to think a little bit above that. Nastasia was excited to hear Noel and Jenna's name. Did they say Noel's name last night? Because I totally missed that. I heard Lucas and Jenna, but it's definitely possible. So Aaron has a theory. What if Jason was actually a De Laurentiis, and Charles is actually Spencer's half-brother? Okay, I think you definitely have a point here. Because if you remember, I guess the end of last season when Charles and Spencer were alone, she remembered him. Now, there's also a theory out there that Spencer was also in Radley along with Charles, and that's where that came in. You could see that he did not want to hurt her. He had the perfect opportunity to kill her if he wanted to, and he chose not to do anything to her. I feel like he has some kind of special, thoughts about her. It could be they're half related. It could be they spent time together as children. I don't know. Lady Love says it may be far-fetched, but in 4:11, Ezra says to Arya, I'm a mess, Arya. That could have more meaning. Messed up because of his past, or he's busy too much being A, but the I am A thing is sketchy. Okay, sorry. Had trouble reading that. Ezra. I thought Ezra was really weird. Now, Ezra's been my favorite for A since the show began. I thought he was weird since day one. So weird. Even though they tried to explain a lot of his weirdness, the book thing is still weird to me. All of it's weird. Some of the stuff that bothers me with him being Charles, though, is definitely the fact that he made out with Allie and was like in love with her. So that's weird. I'm having problems with that. But I don't understand what happened with him last night. Going to Thailand, I felt was very odd. I'm not even sure if that is true. I feel like he kind of got caught by Arya seeing that message on his phone. I don't even know if he's telling the truth about that. It was weird. He seemed weirded out that she saw it. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Okay, they did mention him. So when I'm live tweeting during, the episodes, sometimes I miss important things, and I haven't gotten a chance to rewatch this episode, which I will because my recap is going to be tomorrow, and I always rewatch it before I do that. Liana is asking me what I think about Reese. He's definitely involved. He's most definitely not Charles. I mean, even the moms thought he was Charles. Hopefully none of you think he's Charles. They're just really trying to throw you off there. But I don't know what I mean, technically he could be the twin of Charles if you really want to be super technical. Sheena, thank you for being here. Her husband thinks that A is most likely someone that should shock us and we would never ever suspect. Agreed. Caleb and Allie totally acted weird when they revealed it's Bethany in the grave and Toby's house blew up. And do you remember when a couple of seasons ago, I think, there was like a weapon that Caleb's prints were on. Toby was kind of involved. They were going to turn it over to the police. He freaked out because his fingerprints were on a knife, okay? Now, he didn't commit any crime here, but maybe it's because they were going to run those fingerprints and find someone else's name because Caleb Rivers is not a real person. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So yes, Lip Gloss Kiss is saying that Spencer also had the perfect opportunity to pull off Charles's mask and didn't. It seems like that's always happening though. Like they're so close to A and then they do nothing. So Nastasia is saying that Ezra has been so sketchy this season. And yes, but in very slight ways. Like before, they made him over the top sketchy when they were trying to make everyone think he was A. Now they are making him like really like sneaky, you know. I mean, it's not obvious, but again, anyone who they point to and make obvious that they're Charles or that you should think they're Charles, like Andrew or Reese, absolutely do not go that way. It's going to be a person they have tried to make us trust. It has to be. I've always felt like they would do that, but then after I listen to the cast members interview, I know that they will. Reese is creeping out people on here, and that message just flew up. Ashleigh thinks that Reese is also an undercover cop. It's possible. Now, that's something that I did not call at all. Did any of you think before last night that Clark was undercover? Never thought that. I don't know if they would make two people undercover cops. I could see that they think that Reese is suspicious and Clark was meeting with him in some sort of fake meetup because Clark was really investigating him. Now, that's what I could think, or that's what I could see there. Sheena thinks that Charles chose Reese because he is Jason's doll, like Sarah and Mona were his Allie dolls. Reese reminds him of his brother. Don't think he's Charles at all either. Okay, right. I'd say he's involved in something that's not so good. That's what I think. I think Clark knew this, knew that he was suspicious, and he has been following him, maybe trying to be his friend, pretend friend, to see what he's up to. That's why he met up with him, but it was all part of the investigation. That's what I think. Alice agrees that Ezra has been super weird. He always has been. I would love him being Charles. I would love it. I have lost some hope over the past few episodes because I do have trouble. My biggest thing with that is I have trouble accepting the fact that he was kind of in love with Allie. They've definitely kissed and stuff, but maybe the only way I can explain that is that maybe he was so messed up in the head that he loved Allie but didn't know how to express it, okay? Because he did not get the chance to love her as a sister like he should have because he was kept away and he wanted to be close to her in some way. Now, that sounds crazy. I don't know if they'll go there. I don't know if they'll go with any of that because it's a little bit like incestual, and I don't know if they want to do that. But, you know, Simone is asking if we can get a PLL Mamas spinoff. Like, I don't know, because that was pretty freaking funny last night. I would like that. Janice is saying something that I don't understand as well. She can't believe Mona never clarified anything to the liars about what happened with the faking of her death and who helped her. I don't like that. And the fact that they've never addressed that, I still have a very good feeling that she works with Charles. Now, I have started to think about Charles a lot, and I think that he may not be evil. I think I've mentioned this maybe in my last video, in the last chat. I think someone's manipulating him. I could be wrong. If you watch that sneak peek, the girls seemed mad at him when he was getting ready to jump, but not maybe as mad as they should be if he's completely sinister, because we don't know his backstory. Okay, so I think that's a problem. I even think that Mona could be the person who lured Allie, thinking that she was Charles, because she was not at the prom. All right, so yes, Sarah is weird, a little too weird. I think it's to throw us off. I agree, Ash. She's weird. She was weird last night. I don't know what her deal is. I sometimes think, or a lot of times think, that she's Bethany. I don't know. I wish they would clear that up because it's a little bit annoying. Okay, now Jen has a really good question here. Again, please just start commenting again if I miss it, because I know I'm missing a lot of you guys. Jen's asking, why was Clark only focused on Arya? The Montgomerys are keeping major secrets. I think that's something that somehow I missed and never focused in on, and maybe some of you did too. But you're right. I completely agree that he's an undercover cop. But why was he stuck on her? That is really smart, Jen. I got to give it to you. Because I thought all along that she's going to end up being part of this, okay? Or maybe she has the twin that's crazy or something. I don't know. But yes, Byron is super shady, and that's a whole other thing. We don't see him very often. But yes. So, yeah, why was Clark focused on her? Why didn't he try to be friends with all the liars? And one day he was hanging out with one of them, and then he was hanging out with another one. No, he was stuck to her the entire time. So much so that it seemed like he had a huge crush on her, tried to pretend like he had a crush on her, you know? All right. Sheena says Ezra has always been odd, and his facial expressions have always intrigued her, especially when any of the girls are near. She was blindsided when we saw that Clark is with the police. They did a great job with that. I think they did. I never, ever, ever, ever would have thought that. So that was a good surprise. Deja thought it was weird when Sarah told Emily, Emily, I just want you to know that whatever happens, you mean a lot to me. Maybe it's just me, she says, but she thought that was suspicious. Yeah. I could definitely see her being part of all this Charles thing. Again, I go back to that weird video that he sent the liars where it looked like he was going to kill her, but she seemed, I mean, I felt like she was definitely in on that, you know? I mean, you can't tell me she wasn't. Shadow really wants to know who killed Ian. I would love to know. I want to know who killed all these different people, or if they're really dead or whatever. That would be nice. Charlie says that someone on Twitter thinks that Clark is Shayna's brother. Yeah, I also saw that. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he got a job with the Rosewood Police Department because he wanted to figure out what was up with Shayna's death. That does tie him to Arya because we know that she killed her. So Alex still doesn't think that Charles was put in Radley for something he didn't do. Says, I don't think he tried to drown Allie. Wondered if it was actually Jason and Charles was framed for it. That would be a good twist. Yeah, the more that I'm thinking about all of this, the more I think Charles probably wasn't that bad of a kid. He seemed like such a sweet kid in those videos, which I know that doesn't mean anything, but something probably happened, okay? Maybe when we hear that story from him about what really happened, we'll be like, oh my gosh, okay? That's what I'm thinking. So Shalisa doesn't think that Charles killed Ian or Mrs. D. I don't know either. I really don't. I think there's a lot of people involved in this, to be honest. Ashlea says that there was an episode a while back when Mona left something in Allie's mailbox, a letter. Yes. No one ever said anything about it. But then in the next episode, Mr. De Laurentiis got a birthday invitation. I think you have figured that out there. That is something that I never thought about again. I totally think Mona is in on this. I hope they reveal that tomorrow. Oh, Shalisa, I do too. Likes the idea that Kenneth killed Mrs. G, and I think that Spencer's mom, in like her drunken state, said she thought maybe her husband did it. Because we know that Mrs. D was going around on him having affairs. She obviously had something going on with Charles, and he didn't even know about that. He didn't even know that, you know, Charles was alive, I guess, until after she was dead. But I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, wow. So I saw I left, thinks that Charles is dead and Cece is messing with Allie. That would be crazy. I would feel very let down by that because I feel like they have promised us so much that he's alive, sort of, that I would be kind of upset with the writers if they're like, I mean, he's been dead and now he's alive. And then if he's still dead again, I mean, come on. How many different times are you going to go back and forth? So how many people do I think are in the A team? Asked Pastel Blue. Someone says 4. Definitely more than 2. There could be a whole network. I think there are quite a few. Cutie Pie was happy that Arya won first place. Me too, because I think she deserved it. Do I think Charles is actually going to jump off the roof? Asked Nerys. No, but possibly. I don't think Charles is going to die. I hope not. But I could also see them making it a cliffhanger. Charles jumps off the roof. We think he's dead, and he's not next season. I think you should also watch that interview that I tweeted out with Janelle Parrish, because she talks about the time jump, and a lot of you have asked about that. And she says, and then a lot of you have asked, how are they going to continue this series after we know who A is and know his story? She says that Allie is going to ask them to come back together to Rosewood in 5 years for something, and they are going to run into more troubles. So there's going to be more issues for them to deal with, which I was excited to hear that, because I'm so afraid they're not really going to reveal everything next week, and that's the way they're going to hook us back into the rest of the season in season 7, okay? Amanda, what's up, Amanda, thinks that Toby's twin is A. Remember that Spencer thought Toby was dead in the woods because of the tattoo. Also, they show the clip in next week's promo. Did they really? I didn't even think about that. Okay. So, not really down for that. I don't really feel any twin is cool at this point being A. Like, oh my gosh, do you know how upset I'm going to be if I see like Ezra behind that mask or something and they're like, but I'm not Ezra, I'm Ezra's twin. I mean, no. So Andre likes Wilden being A. A lot of you have tweeted me and commented on my videos with some very compelling Wilden is A theories, so I could see that. Shadow doesn't want Charles to die. I don't want Charles to die because I just think it would really be hard on Allie. But my other point was I want to know the whole story. But according to Janelle in that interview that I tweeted out, we're going to know his whole story. So if we get enough information, maybe it's okay if he does die. Emma is asking if Andrew could be Charles. Would I be happy? No. He hasn't been in the show long enough. I don't have any feelings toward him. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't make me cry. It wouldn't make me sad. It would make me angry, to be honest. So Sheena says, thinks that maybe something bad happened to Ken, like he's been kidnapped or killed. Agreed. Allie's dad, I think something is not good there. He was Charles or someone threatened him, threatened his life. It was weird that he left his door open with his psychotic son on the loose. I could definitely see him being dead. I'm pretty sure, unless this is some sort of made up spoiler, that because I've read it so many different times, but I don't think I actually read it on Marlene's Twitter. Can you guys confirm, is somebody coming back from the dead next week? Because I think that's happening. Okay. Do I think the moms will escape? Ask Pastel Blue. Definitely. I don't know how. Maybe someone will come around and let them out. Maybe Reese will let them out. I don't know. I don't think they'll be in there for too much longer. Melanie says squad goals. The moms in this week's episode, they were epic. Definitely loved it. Diana doesn't want Charles to be punished, but she wants Charles to be punished, but doesn't want him to die. I think we're going to have to just see what his backstory is before I can give an opinion on that. So Shalisa wants Ezra to be a CC Redcoat, Mona a second Redcoat, but a double agent who's also good, and Ashley Marin to be Black Widow, but also a good character. Okay, I like how you're thinking, especially with the Ezra thing. Ashleia also thinks that Ken is dead. The setting in the house felt unsettling. It was weird. It's not like him. I think his drink was sitting there. Most likely he was sitting there drinking and someone came in on him and killed him or kidnapped him. Janice is asking if I think Kenneth killed Mrs. D. I think that's really likely. Never thought of it before. I don't know why they would have had Spencer's mom bring that up if there wasn't something to that. So I like that. Shadow, your English has been fine. No, you've been great. No worries. Shalisa says there was an article when Marlene hinted that someone would come back from the dead. Okay. Actually, that's Alex saying that. So yeah, that's where that came from. So possibly someone is going to come back. We all kind of think it's Maya. Who knows? It could be lots of people. It could be Mrs. D. Who knows? Yes, Mr. Hodsick says Marlene was saying Ezra is endgame. I'm not really sure what that means. What do you guys think that means? How do you interpret that? Lady Love is not a fan of bringing someone back we didn't see over a season, but really want Maya to be involved. They've made so many little clues and hints about her, in the last couple of seasons that I feel like it would be weird if she wasn't going to be important. Maybe she's not going to come back from the dead, but she has some sort of importance in all of this. And I hope they don't leave us. I hope the show doesn't end and we never hear about Maya again. I hope they give us something about that. Emma, I completely agree with you that too many characters have already come back from the dead. But I guess if we could take a poll right now of who you guys would want to come back from the dead, I think Maya would win, because I can't tell you how many tweets and comments I get every single week asking me if I think Maya's alive, if I want Maya to come back. I don't know. So Janice would love the theory that Mrs. Hastings killed, or Mr. Hastings killed Mrs. D, or Mrs. Hastings killed. Oh, okay, right. So you're trying to say that Spencer's mom killed Mrs. D, which is awesome, but she's trying to throw the blame on somebody else who she probably already knows is dead, so he cannot defend himself, because she was acting weird. I've never seen her act like that. Let's be real. Aaron is not convinced that Maya is dead. We never saw her body. Exactly, and that's why so many of you guys have hope that she is alive. So She-Hulk says that she's so sure Mona helped A, otherwise wouldn't she be at the prom, or was she in that red coat? Yeah. Super weird that she wasn't at prom. She was either the one, luring Allie around pretending to be Charles, or she was, texting her from somewhere or doing something weird. Alec is asking if I noticed in the preview the girl that looked like Allie saying, please help me. She didn't sound like Allie. Maybe it was just me, but I found that strange. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if that's going to be her twin. I don't know. Nastasia really wants Maya to come back. I know a lot of you guys do. At this point, I feel like she has some information that we need to hear, and I'm kind of with you. Please come back and tell us something, okay? Janice thinks that she feels like Ian is alive. It's definitely possible. Shalisa asked a good question. Why was it important to reveal that Andrew was adopted? It was brought up and never discussed again. This was a discussion that like Arya and Ezra were kind of involved in. I think anyone who was adopted or came from a foster home, I'm talking to you, Caleb, are very shady. That's shady circumstances to me, because we know that Charles was not raised by his family. We think he was raised in Radley, but maybe not. Maybe he had a foster home. Maybe he lived in a foster home, or he lived with foster parents. Kay Minaj says that Wilden was annoying and creepy as hell, but if he came back, that would be epic. Agreed. I didn't like Wilden or Holbrook at all, but if Wilden came back, it would be interesting. I don't know. That would feel weird if he ends up being Charles, though. I left is asking if Sarah Harvey is Sarah Avery. Please refresh my memory on Sarah Avery. I'm getting lost with all the people, which is easy to do. Andre is sure that Maya is alive. It would be great if she's Redcoat. Okay, I could definitely see it. Pastel says it's funny that Allie doesn't seem to know that Charles is as much her brother as well as Spencer. She used to know everyone's secrets. Yeah, that's definitely weird. It seems like she would know that. So Janice is saying maybe Arya's old boyfriend who was a boxer is Charles. Oh my gosh, Janice, don't make me throw my TV out the window. I can't even remember his name. Jake, was that his name? Gosh, I mean, come on. He was such an insignificant character. Like, I would rather the guy that disappeared from Radley, and I can't even think of his name at this point. We all thought he was in the barrel. Eddie Lamb. I would rather him be Caleb, and we know he's not, but come on. Come on. Amanda is saying that Ezra can't be A. I mean, like, we met his mother, and we also know he had a relationship, and he was also thought he had a child with her, yeah, that other woman, when Charles was supposed to be in Radley. Okay, I see that. I don't care about whoever's families we've met, because they could be adoptive parents, or they could be paid to be pretending to be somebody's parents. But I do see your point about him and that crazy woman that he had that kid with, but he didn't really have that kid with. But anyway, Charlie says her dad always thought Caleb was A. I've definitely had the thought over the years. Ezra was always my number one, but Caleb is someone who they have never tried to make us think was A. And when I think about who they've tried to make us think were A, I really don't know if they have any hope of being A. Toby and Ezra, they've tried so hard to make us think that they were A before. I think it hurts their chances that they really are A. Again, if we're going to be shocked, it can't be somebody they already told us was A. So as much as I want Ezra to be A, you know I do. If it can't be Ezra, I want it to be Caleb. Not because I don't like Caleb. I love Caleb, and I love Caleb, and I think he's amazing. And I think he may really, if he ends up being Charles, I think he does love Hannah. And I do think that is real as real can be, but I think he's got some issues, okay? Or he's being blackmailed or something. All right. Avery is Sarah's friend that saw her last and was taking it the hardest. Thank you. Thank you so much. So Shadow says Mona didn't appear last night, which was weird. She feels like she will show up and say, I will help you guys find Allison, which will be strange. Do I think it's suspicious that she's wearing the same clothes as Redcoat? Very. Still think she's got to be involved. I don't feel like that's a huge shock. I don't feel like we should be really shocked if we find out she is involved. Again, I don't know if she's going to be involved on the good side or the bad side. As some of you have said, I think Shalisa thinks she's a double agent, which means she could be going along with Charles and all these people and pretending to dislike the liars and be wanting to hurt them, but she's really doing this for good. Kind of like what they had Toby doing when he was I don't know. So Hot Cocoa does not think Charles is someone who's dead or someone that Allie associated with. Allie didn't look gutted or devastated. Her voice didn't crack. She just looked like she finally knew the truth. Either that or that wasn't Charles, like I've said before. That was some sort of messenger. I think you have to agree that she does know the person. She didn't look at this person like it was a stranger. She had that look in her eyes like, oh my gosh, like you? Like, I can't believe it's you, okay? Tisco says if Toby was they would cry. I really don't think they're going to go with that. Someone said earlier that Toby could possibly have an evil twin or something. So, yeah, I wouldn't like that, but that could be true. Charlie says the message on the inside of Allison's wardrobe in the dollhouse was from hashtag, or not hashtag, but -M. Could that be Maya? I know a lot of people have thought about that. There was a note that I screenshotted when Allie and Hannah were in jail last season, and it had information about Maya on it. You kind of had to blow it up, like make it bigger on your iPad, which I think is so weird. Why would they have that? Like, why would they have her name on a note that they were passing? Lady Love really thinks that Mona is on the good side, trying to save the day and be a hero. I could totally see this. Alec is asking who my top suspects for Charles, Redcoat, and Black Widow. How do I think they're connected? So for Charles, right now, but this changes, all the time. I think Caleb is my top one for Charles, but I could see that go like so many different ways. Redcoat, I still feel like it's Cece for some reason, and Black Widow, I've always thought Melissa. I don't know how they're connected, and I don't know if some of them are good and some of them are bad. I just really don't. Janice, says, ask if I remember when Allie first met Caleb. Yeah, we just talked about this a few minutes ago. Caleb looked at her so strangely. She's always thought he was suspect, especially the whole hacker thing and then saying he had CIA work, etc. Yeah, and remember when he was being investigated for a murder, but he said he wasn't involved, but really a murder? That's some pretty hardcore stuff, Diana says that Mona is so weird, but she loves her. I think she's a good character because she's so calculating and clever. And when she was gone off the show, I think you could really feel like her presence missing. So I'm glad she's back. Sheena really, really doesn't want Caleb to be either. Simona says, what if Mona lures Allie for Charles because Allie will be in Radley from the promo and then goes back to prom for the liar. Oh, from the prom, then goes back to prom for the liars and they all watch Allie and Charles reunion on screen. Yeah, that would be super, super, super cool. Don't think Caleb is ace, says Diana. If that was the case, Hannah would be devastated and she's not in the promo. Yeah, that's the one thing that kind of messes with my whole theory. But if you see that promo, this is when Charles is getting ready to jump off the building and all the liars are there. Nobody seemed really that upset, but maybe they'd already had their upset moment when they unveiled themselves. But that really worried me because if they're not that upset with this person, is it a person who they're not close to? I don't know. Caleb is too cute to be Charles, says Neely. Well, you could be a criminal and be super hot, I guess. I don't know. Elizabeth does not want Maya to come back. She thinks she's the worst actress ever. Because I haven't gone back to watch old episodes in forever, and I've kind of forgotten her. I thought she was kind of creepy. Whatever. I wasn't in love with her, to be completely honest, but if she comes back, she comes back. I don't know. I feel like if she has something important, if she's somehow tied into this and is important or has good information, let her come back. But if it's just because we want to be like, oh my God, I really never died, then I don't really care. Tyler's asked me if I read the tweet about the barrel. Please tell me, because I think I missed that. Janice doesn't see why everyone wants Maya back. She didn't really have any relevance on the show, and she felt like Ian had more answers that we need, like what happened at the Kissing Rock. Yeah, we never got that cleared up, and I'm with you on that. Okay, Andre does not believe that Cece isn't involved, but she knows a lot. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. You think that she isn't involved, but she knows a lot, maybe? Okay. Camille thinks Ian is Charles. Well, that would be shocking, but I mean, here's what I think about that. If they want to make someone who is dead be Charles, Yeah, okay, that's shocking. But do I care? Do I have any feelings for Ian right now? I haven't seen him in so long. Do you guys have any feelings for him? Like, I mean, I feel like if some people haven't watched the whole series and they unveiled him as Charles, they would just be like, who is this person? I'm not down with that. I know a lot of you like that. I don't like it because we haven't seen him for so long. Yeah, like Tyler's saying the barrel was just, oh, did she tweet out that it was the barrel was just decomposed stuff from a science lab? I felt like we were never going to find out there was a body in there because they said there was not enough DNA evidence. So I don't know. So Sheena says if Ren is Charles and she feels like Melissa is Black Veil, Black Widow. As for Redcoat, well, because the whole widow thing with Melissa, right, because she is a widow. As for Redcoat, maybe Sarah or probably Cece or Mona, more likely. Marlene said Redcoat is someone who runs in 5-inch heels. Okay. Does Mona wear a lot of heels? I'm not sure. I can see Cece doing that. Don't know how girly Sarah is, but interesting. Diana's asking if I remember Holden, Arya's friend that appeared in season 3 and was with Emily that night. Yeah, hold on. I remember the name. I have to really think. Do you think he's Charles? Please, please, please don't make this someone who's from forever ago. Really? So Kay Minaj is saying that Marlene revealed that whoever was in the barrel was some random person from a science lab? That's terrible. Oh my gosh. Alec is asking if I think Charles could be after Allie. Redcoat is the one after the 4 liars, and Black Widow is trying to protect the girls. No, that's fine. This is the first time I've seen this question because you're right. So many people are commenting, which is awesome. So thank you guys. So I am missing stuff. If I miss your comment, you can comment 400 times till I see it because they like start scrolling so fast I cannot see them all. I like that. I think that Charles wants to be with his family. Okay. I don't think he wants to kill Allie. He could, he wanted to meet Jason and that didn't work out. And he wanted these people by themselves. I think that he wants to be with that family that he never got the chance to do. So yeah, I could see that he was not harassing the liars. I really like everything you said, Alec. I like that. Shalisa would love it if we finally see what was on the NAT videos in the finale. Yes, I would too. That would be cool. So Diana is asking about Holden from the night Emily was drugged, and I completely do remember the night Emily was drugged. I believe Jenna was involved. That was crazy. I cannot see Holden's face in my mind. I have to Google it after the show's over, but I kind of know. I know what you're talking about. Nastasia doesn't have any feelings for Ian, but did love his character back in the day. Okay. Camille's asking if I think we'll actually know who Charles is, or is Marlene playing with us? If Marlene is playing with us after all the promotions and blah, 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 I don't think, if you guys forgive her, we can't be friends. I mean, come on. If any of you are cool with being played with, they've played with us before, let's be real. If they're seriously screwing with us again and they don't tell us who Charles is, or it's something just, they pretty much lied, I can't be supportive of it. Like when we have this live chat next week, I'm not going to have happy things to say. I'm going to keep it completely 100% real. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, you have a right to your opinion, but if you're happy with Marlene and she doesn't tell us who Charles is, like, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. Dave, what's up, Dave? Says that when Clark was revealed as a cop, Spencer and Emily told everyone that Hannah and Caleb were checking the coat room and Arya was checking somewhere else, but they never mentioned Ezra. I just felt like he was so sketch. And I mean, the fact that he's got to get out of town pretty soon, because I don't know when that flight was booked, it made me think, and I know he's probably not Charles, but it made me think like he's going to reveal himself as Charles and then he wants to get out of there. So he's going to go to another country. That's kind of what was going through my head. Anastasia said if Marlene is playing with us, she's going to be so upset. Yes. Oh my gosh. Ash is never going to watch any of her stuff ever again. I'm going to be like telling you guys next week, I'm just going to be like, let's unfollow her on Twitter. Let's boycott her because we're not stupid people. We cannot be lied to this much. Okay. I really think with all the interviews I've seen, with all the promotion going on, I do think they will reveal A. Okay. I hope to goodness there is no twist. I hope they don't say, well, this is the A from the past couple of months, but we've got another A for January. Okay. I really hope not. But even though they said, Janelle says in that interview that I tweeted out that after the time jump, She said, oh, something else she said that was cool. She said for 5 years, like when they find out who A is, for 5 years, they're not going to be harassed at all by A, okay? So then they all come back to Rosewood to meet up with Allie, and then some other stuff happens, which makes me worried. Are they going to have a new A? Please. This is getting old. Let's hope not. Kay Minaj says she's confused as to why they made it a big deal to make A seem like this vicious tormentor, but now they want us to sympathize. She doesn't see how harassing these girls connects with trying to meet your family. I get your point completely on that, but that goes back to what I have been thinking, that, excuse me, that Charles is not pulling all the strings, that he may have done some terrible things, but someone's forced him to do it or made him think he should. That's kind of what I think. So maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I think they could explain that yes, he's been doing he's been harassing the girls. He's been doing bad things, but he was made to do it. He was manipulated. He was blackmailed. I don't know. Sarah's asking if anyone noticed in the last night's episode. Aria says, for all we know, Charles is in Spencer's barn installing a lethal disco ball. And then later we see Toby actually installing a disco ball. Yeah, I caught that. I don't know. I feel weird about Toby being A. I just thought of something though. Let's say they do go with a twin being Charles, okay? So it's going to be Toby. It's going to look just like Toby, or it's going to be Ezra, but it's not going to be Ezra. What if this person was sometimes pretending to be their twin, like if they're a boyfriend? What if sometimes the Toby we have seen was actually Charles, okay? What if they have switched out or something? I could see them saying that too. So like, yeah, we've actually seen scenes with Charles and stuff like that, because Ezra was sometimes Charles, or Toby was sometimes Charles, because Charles took their place. I don't know. Yeah, Kay Minaj thinks that Redcoat is the manipulator. That's that's kind of what I think at this point. So I saw, I left thinks that Charles is related to the Montgomery family. Very possible. So Nerese says we get the flashback of Mona and Redcoat in the finale. It's from the end of 225. We see it in the promo. Do you think this is when we find out who Redcoat is? I'm pretty sure we are going to find out who Redcoat is. I'm really excited. I also will tell you, and you've probably already heard this, that in the first 10 minutes, we're going to get the Charles reveal. Let me tell you something I've been thinking about, since our time here is kind of coming to an end, sadly. For those of you who do Periscope, you'll be excited. For those of you who don't, if you have a Twitter account, you just have to download the app on your iPad, your tablet, or your phone. It's free, very simple. You get to watch people do something like this. It's like a live chat, but you can comment right on the screen and I can answer your questions or reply to your comments. Well, since, this finale is the most epic finale in all of PLL history, I thought about filming myself being live on Periscope as I watched the finale. And I was wondering if any of you were interested in joining me. So rather than me tweeting my thoughts, because a lot of times when I'm tweeting, I can't pay the right amount of attention to the show. I want to completely pay attention to this finale. I want to see every single piece of it, okay? Because we've waited so long. So I thought if you wanted, you could have me on in the background in Periscope, and you can share your reactions with me. I'll definitely be looking over at your comments, and you can see how I react to the reveals and stuff. So if you're interested, let me know, and that's something that you can tweet me about, or make a comment on one of my videos, because I think that will be fun to do next week. How do I think Cece will be introduced in the next episode? As Redcoat? I don't know. We haven't seen her in a long time. I really haven't. So interesting. Ash says better be a lot of answers in this last episode. There better be. As much as they promote it, there better be. Sheena says if it is a twin, she can also see them doing the switching thing as well. Yeah, because they can say, first of all, how shocking would this be if the person pulls off their mask and it's Toby, or they look just like Toby because that's the same actor, Toby, Caleb, Ezra. But then everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Caleb is A. And then he's going to be like, nope, I'm Charles. I'm Caleb's twin. Now, I think I could see that happening. I could so see that happening, and I feel like it's a little bit manipulative on the part of the writers. I'm not into that, because we don't know Caleb's twin. We don't know Ezra's twin. We don't know Toby's twin. But like I explained, they could say that sometimes there's been times when Toby was so weird, and then other times when he was really cool. Well, maybe weird Toby was Charles, I don't like that. What do you guys think about that? Jardy's asking if, hey Jardy, what's up? Maybe Redcoat and Charles are in a relationship. I could see that completely. Charlie's asking what do I think of Sarah actually being Bethany and working for Charles as Redcoat? Honestly think it was her that moved the photographs at the gallery. Yeah, I could definitely see her being on the bad team. Okay. Definitely. Agree with you 100%, Shalisa. A twin being A is a cop-out. Yes, it's shocking. The initial unveiling would be so shocking, but if they try, to me, that's a trick. If they have to explain to us why someone is Charles or how we know this person or anything like that. And what I mean, not explain their backstory, but say like, it is, okay, wait, it's Toby, but wait a minute, no, it's his twin. That's crap, okay? K Minaj says Charles is extremely short. They've said in the past, and I've discussed this in live shows before, that like every time they had someone who was supposed to be A and like the little A scenes and stuff, it was actually just some random person on set. They have like different people being that character. So it doesn't really mean that that person is the actual actor who will end up being A. So I could see that that means nothing. The fact that this person sometimes looks really short, really skinny, looks like they're a girl, because maybe the person playing them is a girl or something, but that may not be what's up with that. So I see a lot of you seem very angry if they pull that twin crap and it's like Ezra's twin, Caleb's twin, something like that. Okay. I will not have good things to say to you next week if it's one of those, like, to me, that's a trick and an insult to our intelligence. Let's hope they don't go there. What if Allie's twin reveals herself to Allie? If you've read the books, which I have not, but I've read a lot of stuff online about the books, Tony's asking this question. Allie did have a twin, Courtney, who was evil. They could go that way. They've always said they won't, but I don't believe a lot of the stuff they've said in the past. I'm sorry, I have a barking dog in here. I apologize. I don't really like that. I don't want Redcoat or Black Widow to be a random person who looks just like Allie, but that's her evil twin. I don't like that at all. So the Charles from this week's episode says K Minaj. I don't know about the older episodes because that may not have been Charles. Yeah, I know what you mean. So the person that I still don't know if that was Charles. The person in the cape could have been a minion of Charles, could have been a helper of Charles, could have been someone he threw out there because he didn't want to expose himself. So I don't know how much, weight you can give that. I saw, I left says he's associated with Mona and Jenna. He's Mona's only friend. Who I don't know who we're talking about here. I'm sorry. But Janice is asking who is my top pick for Charles. Right now it's Caleb. But I would love for it to be Ezra. You know that. But I'm very concerned. I'm very worried about this show because they have done so much stuff to us throughout the years. And I feel like that twin idea it's just something I came up with, to be completely honest. I could see them doing that. And I'm really going to be upset because the shock value they would get off of that, with Charles pulling off his mask and it looking just like Ezra, or it looking just like Caleb or Toby, the Twitter is going to go crazy. Everyone's going to scream and freak out. And then but then they're going to be like, you know what? I'm not really this person. I feel sick just talking about it. Anyway, Sarah's asking, if someone read the interview with the actor who plays Lucas, he kind of confirmed that he will play a role in the finale. I didn't see that. I would really be interested in seeing that. If you want to tweet that to me, I'd be interested in reading that. Sarah would be really upset if he's Charles, but after that anagram also said Nerd Lucas is the liar. There was a theory going around several months ago about Lucas being A that was so ridiculously good that I bought into it 100%. So I don't know. I could see it, but I don't like it. Rosen, I think, is asking if A could be Paige. I don't want her to be. I think it's a guy. It's got to be this Charles brother, the guy, right? I don't know. Charlie's is not going to be satisfied with anybody being Charles right now. I don't know. Lady Love says Ezra is the shortest of the boyfriends. Really? Looking at a cast photo? That is crazy. So Nerese actually prefers the twin story rather than this Charles thing. This is insane, but it is almost time for us to end this. We only have like less than a minute. I just want to throw out there really quickly. I have another one of these shows at 6 p.m. They're always different. So if you want to come back, you know, in an hour, please do, because I think they're so much fun. My recap on this week's episode will be live tomorrow, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Check that out. Follow me on Twitter so you can catch when I'm going to be on Periscope. When I'm tweeting about the show, I tweet a lot in between these videos about the show, and a lot's going to be going on between now and next week, so follow me in all those places. Real quickly, Sheena says they didn't show Mona playing A until the episode before her A reveal. So yeah, they use random stunt people to play A, red coat, black veil. Right. So they want us to not know, like, okay, so we know that Charles is about this tall, or Charles is really skinny, or blah, blah, blah. I came, I saw, I left thinks that Cece is the twin. Okay, well, it is time for me to go. I'm so sorry. So I had a great time talking to you guys, and I hope to see you back at 6. If not, please catch my video tomorrow with my recap. I would really appreciate that. And I've had so much fun with you guys. This has been probably the best chat we've ever had. Thank you so much. Love you guys, and I will see you maybe in an hour or sometime. If I didn't get to your comment, just leave it on this. This will show up as a video in just a few minutes, and leave it on there, and I will respond, okay? Bye, guys.